Okay. All right. We're calling to order the meeting of the Board of Adjustment for the town of Ocean View, Delaware. Would you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to
to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Just some housekeeping. Since you're alone, so we won't have to say when you're finished, you may leave. But please, ladies and gentlemen, check your phones. And I was a big one that just did not. All right. I need approval of the agenda.
Move the agenda be approved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion carried. Do I need approval of the minutes of January 19th, 2023?
I move approval.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion has carried. All right. Sir, would you like to read the new business?
Certainly.
Okay,
Application V 441 is submitted by the property owners Shane and Michelle Pruitt for property zone R1, single family residential district located at 13 Longview Drive, PIDN 103.130, county tax map number 134/12.00/311.03. The property owners wish to construct a detached accessory structure, which in this case is a pole building, and are seeking a variance from Article 5, Section 140-28 for all existing and proposed buildings / structures on the lot to exceed the maximum allowable lot coverage of 35%. The property owners also seek a variance from Article 5, Section 140-32 for the detached accessory structure to exceed the maximum allowable height by code of 14 feet.
okay. All right. Madam Solicitor.
At this time, I would like to swear in Mr. Mr. Seno, do you swear to treat the board with proceedings today?
I do.
You as well. Swear that you do these proceedings. And Madam Clerk, can you please advise the board if all notices of consent on advertisement and sign posting required of the code and accomplished for these proceedings? Mr. Semino, do you want to run your comments to the board?
Yes, first we're going to read through the application for the standards of relief that were submitted by the applicant. Variance is number 1, uniqueness. Do you have a unique circumstance or condition, such as irregularity, narrowness, or shallowness of lot size or shape, or exceptional typographical or other physical condition peculiar to the property? If so, please explain.
I think that should have been topographical.
Yeah, I'm just reading. That's why I had a hard time reading. I got this is wrong, but already that's what's in front of me. The applicant responded no. Is there an exceptional practical difficulty due to such unique condition and not related to general circumstances or conditions? The applicant responded no. Number 2, possibility of development. Can the property be developed in strict conformity with the zoning ordinance without a variance? The applicant responded no. Is the variance necessary to enable reasonable use of the property? The applicant responded yes. Number 3, has the difficulty been created by the applicant? If not, please explain. No, per town code, I can only use 35%, and my proposed building will be 44%. This will allow me to store my equipment and have an office space in a small room on the 2nd floor, which exceeds the 14-foot height code, as my proposed is 18 feet in height. Number 4, effect on surroundings. A, will the variance alter the essential character of the neighborhood? The applicant responded no. B, will the variance substantially or permanently impair the appropriate use for development of the adjacent property? The applicant responded no. C, will the variance be detrimental to the public welfare? The applicant responded no. Number 5, extent of variance. Will the variance request represent the least modifications possible of the regulations at issue? The applicant responded yes. B, is the variance necessary to afford relief? The applicant responded yes. C, will the variance represent the least modification possible of the regulations at issue? The applicant responded yes. I don't believe the special use exceptions are relevant.
All right, gentlemen.
Our overview with respect to variance number 1, the maximum allowable lot coverage. The proposed improvement will increase the lot coverage from existing lot coverage of 39% to 44%, which is 5 more than exists now, 9% more than the maximum allowable. As stated in the application submitted, the applicant states there is no unique circumstances or condition that creates this overage. The Office of Planning, Zoning and Development finds that the difficulty created is the sole responsibility of the property owner. Variance number 2, section 140-32, detached accessory structure, maximum allowable height. The proposed improvement will be 18 feet, 4 feet greater than the maximum allowable height. As stated in the application submitted, the applicant states that there are no unique circumstances or condition that creates this overage. The Office of Planning, Zoning and Development finds that the difficulty created is the sole responsibility of the property owner. That's the end of my comments.
Questions, gentlemen?
Not right at this moment.
Okay.
Mr. Semino, a question.
Certainly.
In the questions, it's the using this structure for office space and storage of equipment. Is that consistent with residential use of the property?
I would think it would be if the structure had plumbing fixtures, etc.
Okay, it's not a business use.
If it's strictly office space, it would be a business use. It could not be used for any type of living residential quarters upstairs.
I was just concerned that there might be a conflict between the commercial use of an office space and the residential character.
The code allows for home office in residential communities.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have
No,
questions?
no, right now. Thank you.
Any questions for this? Would you like to swear in the
Yes, are you ready to call for Madam Chair?
yes, I would think.
Yes,
Any
please.
questions?
Are you the applicant?
I sure.
Well, would you like to come forward and identify yourself by your name and your address, and then I'm going to swear you in.
You got it. My name's Shane Truitt, 13 Longview Drive, Ocean View.
Mr. Truitt, do you swear and affirm to tell the truth before the board today?
I did.
So this is your opportunity to make the case.
Okay. So I'm putting in for the 18-foot variance, so I can have it's going to be a 30 by 15 room on the second floor. So it's not the entire 30 by 30 proposed building. That's just going to be a little spot for me to be able to keep my work off the kitchen table. So I can have my computer out there if I want to, or whatever, do my bills and invoices and things like that. So if you don't know, I yard and landscape business. So I grass cut and do landscaping. So get that stuff out of my house, off my kitchen table. I got 4 kids. My house is crazy as it is. So I need to get some of my stuff outside. The 44%, I did not know until I got this survey that I was at 39%. I guess because of my pea gravel patio in the back, just 20 by 20, that probably put me over. If you notice on the plan, it does have a detached shed that's on there now. That will be gone as soon as my building, hopefully, if you approve it, my building is built. That shed will be no longer there. And to get the equipment out of my yard, I have a snowplow, a salter, my grass cutting equipment, things of that nature that I've overgrown a 12 by 20 shed. So I need something a little bit bigger with some more space. So I don't look like the Beverly Hillbillies in Ocean View. So I can put my stuff inside and have it kept neat. That's my case.
All right. My first question would be, are there other employees? Are you a sole employee?
Sole employer,
So there would not be other employees
Nope.
driving within that range?
Nope. Just me.
Okay, and how about the driveway or roadway from your house to the proposed building?
So my driveway goes all the way back behind my house now. If you notice on the plan, it goes all the way back. There's a square back behind the place. And it'll only be, I don't know, I think it's 15 feet off of the driveway to the front of the apron of the garage. So I don't plan on, if you're asking if I'm gonna put more driveway, I don't plan on doing that. I gotta rip some stuff up I have irrigation, so I gotta make some changes in my land now, just to, when I put the building over top of it, but there's no other employees, there's nothing like that. And my next door neighbor does have there are other 18-foot buildings out there. My next door neighbor has one
Oh,
at number, what's that, 11, I
we have
guess.
12 and we have 12 and 14 on either side of your,
So two over, right on the corner, the guy who has Mr. Chris and Marie that have all the cars right on the corner. I think that's, so if I'm 13, that's probably 11, 10, 9, maybe, something like that.
gentlemen, questions?
I'm looking at the survey,
Okay.
and in addition to the driveway coming along the side of the house and to the rear, then there's a curved paved driveway here as well.
Correct. That's in the front of my house.
There was something,
In the variance, yes, or on that, because it's funny. When I did that driveway, I got my permit for it. The next council meeting, they changed the width of how wide it was allowed to be. So mine actually, that's why it says on there, it's non-conformed, because it was approved when I did it. And then they changed it to, I believe it's 8 foot now, and mine's 10 foot or 12 foot and 10 foot, whatever it is.
yeah, no, I think Mr. Semino pointed out that the town was considering it a pre-existing issue. So.
And that's what I had it documented. I think there's only one thing that has to go back to my surveyor, per your town engineer, to put the dotted line. I think it's across my back line. They didn't do it. They did it on the sides, but he forgot the back line to give you your 10-foot easement all the way around. So he just has to put that on. I've already talked to him about it, and he's gonna, I'll call him today and tell him to do it and have it to you guys. That's the only thing that needed to be corrected on the survey.
Let me ask Mr. Semino this, the fact that even with no changes and no improvements, the property is already over the 35%, does that need to have a variance, or is that also going to be considered, pre-existing issue?
That's a pre-existing issue.
Okay.
35%, if he wasn't in here, we wouldn't be talking about that if he wasn't making any type of improvements. The 39% wouldn't be an issue.
Okay, it just wasn't clear about how that would work. Okay.
And honestly, I don't even know how I don't know what made me go over the 35%, because since I've built the house, the only thing that I've added was the little pea gravel 20 by 20 patio in the back. Everything else has been there since day one.
Yeah, I can see that. The 44%, that assumes that the shed is out of there.
Correct,
If the shed stayed, it'd be more, right?
correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I don't know how to figure that out, but that's what I'm being told by my surveyor and your town engineer. So that's what they tell me.
Any other questions,
I
gentlemen?
don't think I have any other.
Mr. Seminar, there are other structures in town that are significantly over the height limit.
That is correct. There are other structures in town that are significantly over. There is one 2 or 3 doors up from his residence. There are several on Daisy Avenue. It's
There's
an
2 or
older
3
por-
on Hudson.
There's an older portion. This is an older section of town.
So many of them were there prior to the height restriction being put into effect.
Yes,
With the exception of my neighbor, which
But I-
did obtain a variance.
the for this variance, the height and lot coverage kind of go hand in hand. You can't do one without the other.
Right.
In this specific instance, because the building in itself is creating the overage without removal of some of this impervious driveway or gravel, whatever else.
Chris, the only thing I could do is reduce my size to 24 by 24, or actually to get it down below that, I have to go to like 24 by 18 or something. And honestly, it serves me no purpose. I could buy a shed that big, but I have more equipment than can fit in that shed.
Okay, and the proposed building would be used only for storage and.
Yeah, nobody's living in there.
Okay, that's
No.
my question. Is there, because we've had a problem before, is there any type of running water in there or
There will not be.
there will?
There'll
not?
be I'm going to have electric run out there, but I don't plan
Sure.
on having water or sewer or anything like that.
Thank you. Question? Mr. Lawless, no questions? Mr. Nooner?
Well, I'm just, this just looks like a normal rectangular lot to me.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't see anything unique about it, and I'm assuming the other lots are similar in the community.
Kind of. Mine just goes at a stupid angle at the back. It kind of goes straight back and goes off to the right.
Yeah, well, yes, okay, a little bit. I mean, I don't see any exceptional practical difficulty here, except that Mr. Truitt wants to build a project that exceeds what the town code allows. I'm a little bit at sea here. I mean, we have these requirements for specific reasons, and we can allow variances when there are unusual, unique problems, unique issues, exceptional issues, and my problem is I'm not seeing anything exceptional here. That's just where I am right now.
And if I could, can I respond to that?
Sure.
So
Sure.
there are a couple there's one on my street, the second house on the left when you come down Longview. And like Mr. Sumino said, I'm in an older part of the town. So I'm in an older part of the town.
Yeah.
So there are buildings that I can't hold you to this, but I'm sure if we looked at it, the one detached garage that's right down from my house, I know that I got more grass than he does. And I'm sure his is over 35%. And I know that at the last council meeting, they just approved for the mixed use to allow Silver Woods to go to 45% with all their stuff. They made the motion and seconded it.
They made a motion for townhouse lot coverage.
And the single lot use is what I heard on the Zoom to go to 45%.
The single lots are already 45% in that mixed use plans community, which is separate from R1 zoning district. And in planned communities, council has the ability to set dimensional regulations of their choosing.
All right. I mean.
Just one other question.
Sure.
In terms of impervious percentage, are there any in your immediate area, water problems, drainage problems, flooding issues?
And no, there's not. And like Mr. Semino said, the guy 2 doors down from me, apparently FEMA just did all the rezoning regulations and his house is now out of the flood zone. I'm like the only one on my street that's still in a flood zone.
Well, that's strange.
I know, tell me about it. And the guy that lives behind me, it runs through the middle of his house. So, but no, we don't have standing water. We don't have any water drainage issues. Not that I've seen I've been there going on 17 years. I haven't had any issues.
I can confirm there aren't any issues on Hudson Avenue with respect to poor drainage or standing water or anything like that.
Now, the problem is the balance here between our responsibility to uphold the regulations of the town and our interest in being neighbors and understanding that you live in our town. We're all trying to do the right thing by our town.
Madam Solicitor, would it be inappropriate for me to make a suggestion to the applicant?
Well, I don't want you to say anything that's gonna, you've made your comments to the board. I mean, okay, I mean, you could make a suggestion to the applicant after the hearing, or is there? Do you want to hear a suggestion? Because whatever he says, the board's gonna hear.
I mean, it sounds like it's not going my way, so I guess
So Mr. Semino, he's not opposed to you making a suggestion.
I was just thinking, I hear the board and I'm listening, and I guess the biggest issue that they have and this office has is the lot coverage. You're already over. And you're asking to have it increased even more. Is there anything that you could possibly go back and have your engineer or yourself look at a lot of this, some of the impervious areas on your property that you could eliminate to bring that number back down?
But that still won't absolve his height issue. Yeah.
Right, that won't absolve the height issue.
I don't think the height issue is the real issue. In my opinion, for you guys, because I mean, you just approved not that long ago, my next door neighbor, his is 18 foot tall, so I'm assuming the 44% is what everybody's hung up on.
Well, you can't assume anything.
I am.
Okay. Yeah, you can't assume anything.
I mean, I can't rip my driveway out. I mean, I can take the 20 by 20 pea gravel out and put grass there. I don't know that gives me enough to drop it down percentage wise. I mean, my driveway and the driveway is the biggest percentage, and then I have my pea gravel, and then I guess I'm assuming my deck is probably part of that.
Yeah,
I can't rip the deck off the back of my house.
right.
And in that area, because it's what I call Old Town, Ocean View, most of the houses are of different, and the lots are of different shape.
Mhm. Yeah, width and length.
Yes.
I mean, my next door
yes,
neighbor's is much wider than mine.
Yeah,
The empty lot next to me is deeper than mine and wider by like 4 foot. Then, the lady across the street on the corner lot, and then, yes, the houses go all different ways.
Yeah.
Well, what surprised me about the issue when I looked at the survey, the house, your house is not large for the size of the lot. So I was surprised to see that you were already over the 35%. So what's causing that to be over is all of the pavement, the driveway and the other, the curved paved driveway in front of the house. So what looks like it shouldn't be a problem because of the size of the house in relation to the lot becomes a problem because of all the other stuff you've got going on there on the property. And yeah, I agree. I mean, you could take the gravel out.
That's not gonna bring me down 10% or 9%.
No.
And I can't, I mean, I have 4 kids, 3 of them, I have triplets that are 15, they turn 16 next year. I can't take, I mean, there's no way that small driveway on the side is gonna fit all the vehicles I'm gonna have in the driveway and next year. I mean, you can use that as a uniqueness. It does, by approving it, it doesn't take the effect away from any of the visual aesthetics. It coincides with many other structures that are in and around my street on Hudson Avenue, Longview, down Woodland. So it's gonna look the same. It's just gonna have the building's gonna be there. I mean, we work hard to keep our house looking nice and just trying not to look like the plant that's outside.
And right now, there's nothing there.
No, I just have an empty back. Well, I have that shed.
You have.
That's
the
it.
smaller
But it's on
shed.
the other side of the
The
property, but
smaller
that's
shed,
it.
Yeah, the smaller shed.
Yeah, that's all that's back there now. The rest of it's just open grass.
What's behind your property in the back where this building would be?
There's another house that was just built 2 years after mine.
So that's another residential lot.
Yes, and we have he put arborvitaes and I put crepe myrtles. So there's a barrier between us anyway. And he's got, that's the side of his house. So his HVAC's on that side. That's it, in his garage. So they can't they can't see any of that from my side.
Nothing else.
Richard? Good. Then we need a motion. Mr. Simmons, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, ma'am.
Madam Chair,
So we just need to note for the record, and Mr. Truitt, you're finished your presentation, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we just need to note for the record, ordinarily, this is when we would ask for public comment. There does not appear to be any public comment.
Nobody threw rocks at my head.
So for the record, we're noting that there's no public here for comment.
Okay, now.
Madam Chair. Well, I'm sympathetic to a business owner. I move to decline the variance. The difficulty here is created by the owner and the overage. And my rationale is that you're over and you're asking for even more.
Okay. Gentlemen, do I hear?
I second the motion.
Okay. Can we take a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion has carried.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Truitt. Okay. Now. We need to have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Move we adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Uh,
Opposed?
Again.
Okay, motion has carried.